The joint motion is hereby granted. And the record...
It has taken half a century for Mohammed Aziz to stand in a New York courtroom and hear a judge finally clear his name.
This has been an exoneration in plain sight for decades.
The now 83-year-old was convicted of murdering Malcolm X in 1966, a year after the civil rights leader's assassination.
While I do not need this court, these prosecutors, or a piece of paper to tell me I'm innocent, I am very glad that my family, my friends, and the attorneys who have worked and supported me all of these years are finally saying the truth that we have all known, officially recognized.
The judge in New York vacating his conviction and that of Khalil Islam, who was also jailed for murder. But he wasn't in court, having died more than a decade ago.
The fact that my father and my mother weren't here, are not here alive to see this and to experience the exoneration is painful because they suffered a lot.
And just then the gunfire went off.
It is a case that has fascinated the US for years. Campaigners, authors, documentary makers insisting two innocent men were locked up. Aziz and Islam's trial was rife with misconduct and misdirection. The FBI and NYPD withheld crucial evidence, and the men had no connection to Mujahid Abdul Halim, who confessed to the shooting. Still, they would spend more than 40 years in prison between them.
For them to have had, their fingers on the triggers for the shots that killed Malcolm, they weren't in the room, simply.
Investigations took nearly 2 years and faced huge challenges. The witnesses and police officers involved are all dead, and crucial evidence like the murder weapon no longer accessible.
Mr. Aziz and Mr. Islam were wrongfully convicted, and most of the men who murdered Malcolm X never faced justice.
And they likely never will now. The question of who was truly behind Malcolm X's killing may never be answered. Phil Lavelle, Al Jazeera, Washington.